You're lying in bed at 2 a.m., staring at your phone screen. You spent a solid 20 minutes crafting that message, rewording it, second-guessing it, finally hitting send with this quiet hope that this time it lands differently. 6 hours later, you get back. Haha, cute, matchy. Let me check my schedule, babe. No follow-up, no locked-in plan. Just a wink and a white heart and silence. And the wildest part? You're still trying to decode what matchy even means. Here's the cognitive trap that's already been sprung on you. She's still there. She still replies. She still calls you babe on Instagram. So your brain files it under she's interested, just busy. And you keep the engine running, keep investing, keep waiting. But what's actually happening isn't complicated. You're carrying the entire weight of keeping this text chain alive, while she spends 2 seconds typing a low-effort emoji to keep you on the hook. That gap between what you're perceiving and what's actually operating, that's the mechanism this video is going to break down in real time. Because those weren't accidents. Those were patterns. And once you learn to read digital body language, the actual behavioral data embedded in how someone texts, responds, and shows up, you stop misreading courtesy as connection. What you're about to see isn't about one girl. It's a specific set of behavioral signals that once you recognize them, you will never unsee. Look, I need to be completely transparent with you. I've been that man. I spent months chasing a girl who kept me just warm enough to stay hooked, but never close enough to actually build something real. My brain fell into a classic evolutionary trap. As men, our biology is wired to mistake physical proximity and surface-level attention for genuine mating interest. And here's where most guys go wrong. They assume she's complicated. Maybe she's guarded. Maybe she got hurt before. Maybe she just needs more time to open up. No. What's actually happening is far more precise than that. She's not confused about her feelings. She's allocating. Every text she sends, every plan she half commits to, every let's see what happens, that's not emotional turbulence. That's resource management. Being busy is a myth. Being selectively busy is a strategic choice. Think about it. When she actually wants to be somewhere, she's there. When she actually wants to respond, the reply comes fast. You've seen it happen with other people in her life. Just not consistently with you. That's not a schedule conflict. That's a priority ranking. I had to learn to swap out my own mental model, to stop hunting for that one tiny text that proved she cared, and start looking at the cold, hard pattern. Because the patterns don't lie. And the first one is hiding in plain sight, right inside every conversation you two have ever had. She goes quiet for days. No texts, no story replies, nothing. Then at 11:30 p.m., your phone lights up. Hey, you up? I am having such a stressful night. My car is making this weird noise again, and I do not know who else to ask. You are always so good with this stuff. And just like that, you are wide awake, fully engaged, ready to help. Here's the cold read on that moment. She did not suddenly remember you. She remembered the feeling of having a problem solved without any relational cost. You are not the person she is thinking about at 11:30 p.m. You are the solution she is reaching for. That is breadcrumbing operating at its most functional level. She is not stringing you along out of cruelty. She is doing it because it works. You stay available, she stays resourced, and the dynamic never has to be named. The illusion is that her vulnerability means trust. The reality is that you are first on the list only when no better option picked up the phone. You are not a romantic interest in that moment. You are a free utility, and free utilities do not get scheduled, they get used. Watch for the pattern. The longer the silence before the message, and the more specific the ask, the cleaner the transaction. If she is gone 3 days and opens with a problem, that is not reconnection. That is logistics. But this transactional dynamic only works because of something she never makes explicit, and that ambiguity is the real engine running underneath all of it. When she is pushed toward clarity, are we actually something or not? Watch what happens next. She does not say no, but she never says yes. I think you are amazing and you would make such a great boyfriend, but I am just not ready for anything serious right now. Let us just see what happens and enjoy the vibe, okay? Read that back slowly. There is no rejection in those words. There is also no commitment. What there is a perfectly engineered non-answer that keeps you emotionally invested while she retains every exit. This is a psychological smokescreen manufactured on purpose. She knows exactly what you are asking. She knows exactly what she is withholding. The vagueness is not a byproduct of confusion. It is the product itself. Women do not leave men in ambiguity because they are complicated. They do it to extract emotional validation without paying the price of commitment. True attraction does not produce mixed signals. Anything less than a clear yes is a managed delay. What she is running is portfolio management, keeping you warm in the waitlist while her attention stays open to better options. The guys who stay in that waitlist the longest are the ones who keep mistaking patience for proximity. Most guys hear, "Let us see what happens," and think she just needs more time. Here is the behavioral metric that cuts through that story. If 3 weeks have passed, and the answer to "Are we exclusive?" is still a vibe and an emoji, the answer is already in front of you. And to make sure you never actually leave that waitlist, she has one more move in rotation. Right around the time you start pulling back, going quieter, responding slower, something shifts. She likes your story. She texts out of nowhere. She suggests getting coffee soon. "Hey stranger, someone saw you at the gym today. You look like you have been working out a lot. Missed seeing your face. When are we getting coffee?" And just like that, the warmth is back. Your brain registers it as progress. It releases a dopamine spike, the same neurological hit that makes slot machines so hard to walk away from. That is not a coincidence. The mechanism is identical. This is not emotional inconsistency. This is the slot machine effect, the most addictive behavioral loop in existence. The unpredictability of the reward is exactly what makes it so hard to disengage from. If she were cold all the time, you would leave. If she were warm all the time, the chase would be over. The hot and cold cycle is what keeps the investment alive. She is not confused about her feelings. She is managing her leverage. When you pull back, she senses a drop in her supply. Your attention, your availability, your effort. The sudden warmth is not because she missed you. It is a system check. She is verifying the backup is still functional before she needs it again. The illusion is that your distance made her realize your value. The reality is, she is just re-inflating the tire before it goes flat. And once she is confirmed you are still in the loop, watch how quickly the independence card gets played. Early in, before things ever get serious, she is already telling you who she is, just not in the way you think. Honestly, I have just realized that I am completely fine on my own. I value my independence way too much to let anyone dictate my life or my time right now. Sounds like self-awareness. Sounds admirable even. What it actually is, a pre-installed exit clause. By loudly establishing herself as someone who answers to no one, she has built a technical framework that lets her ignore your messages, cancel plans, and stay emotionally unavailable without ever being the villain. She told you up front, after all. This is a pre-programmed defensive wall. Her independence is not the problem. The fact that she uses it as a shield to dodge accountability is. It becomes a one-way contract. She reserves the right to receive your attention, your effort, your presence, while preemptively disclaiming any responsibility for reciprocating it. The illusion is that her independence is strength. The reality is it is a liability waiver, signed before you even knew you were entering an agreement. She is not unavailable because she is strong. She is unavailable because availability would cost her the leverage. But here is where the pattern fully reveals itself. Because everything she has done so far, the vagueness, the cycles, the exit clauses, it all makes sense the moment you see how she manages the space around you. She is telling a story about her weekend and casually drops, "Oh, my male friend Chris just texted me. He wants to take me to this exclusive rooftop bar this weekend. He is always doing sweet things like that. It is so funny." She says it lightly, offhand, like it barely registers. It registers, and that is the entire point. This is manufactured competition, dropping another man's name into the room just to watch your security evaporate. The Tinder notification she lets you see, the work friend who keeps coming up, the ex she mentions just casually enough to land. None of it is accidental. She keeps other options visible not because she is social, but because your certainty costs her leverage. The exact moment you feel fully secure, she loses her emotional hold on you. Your confusion is her market value. The illusion is that she is just being open with you about her life, and it signals she is high demand, so you push harder to stand out. The reality is you have just entered a rat race with no finish line, where the prize is more ambiguity, and the only thing being depleted is your energy. There is no version of trying harder that wins inside that system, because the system is not designed for you to win. And once you can see all 5 of these patterns running simultaneously, you stop asking why she is like this, and you start asking a completely different question. Every pattern you just saw, the late-night logistics texts, the permanent vagueness, the hot and cold cycles, the independence shield, the triangulation, none of it is accidental, and none of it is fixable from your side. Here is the hardest pill I had to swallow. You cannot outpatience a system designed to use you. More effort will not rewrite a script that was structured for you to lose. She knows what she is doing, and she knows you will stay. What you are dealing with is not a woman who needs more time. It is a woman who has made a calculated decision to treat you as a standing option, available on demand, emotionally invested, and asking nothing in return. Walking away from that is not cold, it is not petty, it is having emotional autonomy, a clear, non-negotiable understanding of what your time is actually worth. Your time is a compounding asset. Emotional crumbs are not a return on that investment. So the move is not a confrontation, it is not a speech, not an ultimatum, not a long explanatory text at midnight. It is a complete, quiet withdrawal of your attention. No explanation given, no argument started, no door left cracked. You return her to the world of ambiguity she chose, and you stop being the one who pays the cost of it. That is not a reaction, that is a decision. If you have ever missed signals like these in the past, drop a comment. Trust me, we have all been there. But here is what is worth sitting with. What happens when a girl is not playing games at all, but she is doing something far more damaging without either of you even realizing it? What if she has already made a quiet, permanent decision to slot you into the friend zone, not out of cruelty, but out of pure psychological comfort, while you are still reading every coffee hangout and late-night text as a sign that something is building? Most men do not realize they have crossed that line until they have already spent thousands of dollars and months of emotional labor on someone who sees them as a fixture, not a future. You do not want to find out the hard way when it is already too late.